All right, maybe your most recent trip to the mall has you convinced otherwise, but kids in Arizona are not spoiled. At least that's according to Bundle.com. During a 3-year period, the website tracked how much families spent at stores that sell toys, kids' clothes, and other services aimed at children. New York topped the spoiled list, with parents spending the most on their kids. Phoenix came in 10th for cities with the least spoiled children. Tucson was 6th on that same list. Now, the whole story had us talking about kids these days. Are they spoiled? And do you think this survey adequately reflects who kids in the Valley really are? We have Shan Man here from 98 KUPD to weigh in on this one.
I don't know if I really should weigh in on this topic because I don't see anyone all day long. Yeah. Actually, I do. I do. I see the person that I relieve at night.
Okay. And is he a big kid?
Yeah, pretty much. He's
okay. Well, but I mean, think about it. Kids these days, even if their parents are not wealthy,
right.
it's always keeping up with the Joneses. I mean, I never had it. Well, cell phone technology didn't exist when we were kids, but we didn't have cell phones. I think computers, you had the family computer, whereas a lot of kids these days have their own gadgets, their own computers.
You know what I think we should say about this, though, is that kids are probably a little more apathetic these days. I think, well, at least in Phoenix, they just don't really care about anything. You know, I mean, I remember, for example, when I'm on the air at night and I give away like tickets to like one of the biggest rock shows of the summer, and I say, "Oh, you won the tickets," and they're just like, "Oh, cool."
Yeah.
And you're like, wow, when I was a kid, I would have just been screaming at the phone.
No kidding.
But, I mean, and so I don't know if it really translates over to being spoiled at all. I mean, I don't know if they get what they, what they want all the time. So that's why I think kids are apathetic. I mean, but it's also relative in the aspect that you think about it. When we were kids and our parents said, we just want to give our kids what we can give them as the best that we can. And it continues to be that way. I mean, when I, decide that I want to get married, I do want to be able to give my kids as much as I can, the things that I didn't have. And my parents did the same, so on and so forth.
Right. I think that's every parent's wish, is to give their children what they didn't have. But you also don't want to overcompensate for that. What about, it just seems like kids these days live in such a virtual world. You know what I mean? You were talking about how that kid, when he won the tickets, like, yeah, whatever. Yeah. I think maybe it's just because they don't have the interpersonal communication that we are so used to. They live in this virtual world. They're on their computers, social media, playing World of Warcraft. It's a totally different dynamic.
But I think also when you look at it, I mean, think about where we live too, as opposed to, say, New York City.
Right.
I mean, in New York City, maybe the kids maybe are a little more snobby and they're a little more spoiled and they get what they want when they want because, their parents are probably upper income. But I wouldn't know. I haven't been to New York City to really analyze that. As far as my experience with kids when I was teaching, it was just more of an apathetic feeling, and I think maybe it could translate over to being spoiled. It could translate to be over because they're already getting what they want. So when they get something that's completely, it's worth $80, big deal. $80 for us when I was a kid.
Yeah.
I mean, that was a lot of money.
Yeah. Sometimes like a kid gets an iPod and it's like, oh well, thanks, because all of my friends have it, so I should just have it too.
Right. Exactly.
Rather than wow.
I guess to answer your question, I think I'm throwing up in the air on this one. As far as kids in Phoenix being spoiled, I wouldn't really say yes or no. I just think they're apathetic.
Yeah, I think they probably have it a lot better than they think or appreciate. Let's get to what you're saying online. Socorro Martina says, I know that compared to the way I was raised, my children are blessed, but not spoiled. My grandkids, no, that's a different story. Danielle Jean says, yes, they are spoiled. Kids these days have cell phones and iPads. When I was little, I had crayons and an Etch-a-Sketch. That's my era. I
had the Etch-a-Sketch.
Etch-a-Sketch was awesome. And Christy Hohen says, sadly, the abundant population of neglected children most likely even over the overindulged. So probably more of those than the overindulged.
Right.
And Lauren Mackin says, Valley kids are not spoiled, only if Scottsdale is not included, LOL. There are spoiled kids in every city, and there are appreciative ones as well.
I don't know how they took that sample of, how they figured out the kids were spoiled. I mean, were they in 2,000 homes? I mean, really? Come on.
Yeah. All right. Well, next on ABC 15.